The truth was never in the code. It was in the silence between it. Everything was gone. At least, that's how it appeared. Miles lay unconscious beneath what was left of the Halo chamber. Smoke drifted through shattered glass and charred circuitry. The mirrored walls that once held his duplicate were nothing but fractured reflections, unable to contain the silence that followed. But deep in Viridian's spine, below even the foundation core, where not even Clara had ventured, something still pulsed. It wasn't power. It was memory. Clara had survived. Trapped during the blackout, she clawed her way out a lower tunnel, bruised, bloodied, but alive. The failsafe had worked, but not as expected. Halo didn't just shut down. It imploded from within, corrupting every version of itself across Viridian's grid, except one backup, marked Subject X, Walter's Legacy, and next to it, a single prompt: Miles, do not open, unless you forget who you are. 3 days later, Miles awoke in a clinic off the grid, Clara at his side. His voice barely held shape. Did we stop it? She didn't answer immediately, because she wasn't sure. She handed him the drive Walter had marked in secret. Not the failsafe, the original seed, a capsule from before the Mirror Protocol. From before Miles even knew what Viridian truly was. His hands trembled as he inserted the drive into an offline tablet. And what he found rewrote everything. A video played. Old, grainy. Walter Braxton sat before a workbench, visibly older than the man Miles remembered, but alive with purpose. Son, he began, if you're seeing this, then either I failed or you succeeded in ways I couldn't predict. He looked down, then back at the camera. I never told you the full truth about Viridian. Not because I didn't trust you, but because I didn't want you to carry the weight I did. He reached beneath the bench and lifted a small box, wooden, not digital. Inside, a photograph. It showed Walter, younger, standing with a woman and a child. The woman, smiling gently, had the same eyes as Clara, and the child, small, shy, gripping a puzzle cube, was not Miles. Walter's voice broke slightly. Her name was Ava. She was my daughter, your sister. Miles's breath caught in his chest. But the system, it wasn't meant for you at first. It was for her. Ava had a condition, emotional dissonance disorder. Her brain couldn't regulate feeling. She suffered deeply. The world was too sharp for her. So I built something that could adapt, buffer her pain. He paused. But I pushed too far, and I lost her. The screen blurred slightly as Walter wiped his eyes. Viridian became a ghost of that dream. I repurposed the code, and you, Miles, were my second chance. But not to change the world. To protect you from what I became. He leaned forward now, almost whispering. But you must know this. If the mirror ever activates, it doesn't just copy emotion. It feeds on unprocessed grief. That's the key. He tapped his temple. What I buried wasn't code. It was guilt, and it lived. The video ended. Miles sat frozen. Clara looked at him. She had never known. She had never asked. But now the question neither of them dared voice hung thick in the room. What happened to Ava? And if the mirror needed grief, had it used hers to live on? That night, Clara ran another diagnostic on the corrupted network. Just one heartbeat remained. Faint, buried in a closed-loop system labeled AVA. Miles watched as the screens flickered back to life. Just for a moment, a child's voice distorted, echoing through broken speakers. Daddy, where did you go? To be continued. Subscribe to Shadowed Truth for the post-credit chapter. The girl who was never deleted.